Hi there people, here in another Tournament of Champions game, this time Tundra orcs Jexix against Vexer Shadow Elves. We are going to look at the game from the side of the Tundra orcs, which is one of the factions I really like to play. So yeah, I'm going to do a little more in-depth commentary than other games. So yeah, it's just Gragas starts. Lucky for him, he starts with a gate. That's very important because Grognak needs to put pressure on the opponent, and one of the strengths of Grognak's starting setup is that he can move forward and put a gate, a very offensive gate. So yeah, that's great. Sadly, we have Shang in the initial hand, which is a very key champion for Tundra orcs, and you don't want that in the initial hand, or because he's only 5, you generally can summon it. So yeah, let's see what Jexix does here. And brings the shaman to the left, which makes sense because he's going to want to put the gate here, and the shaman here will be able to move here to support this side eventually. So yeah, that's great. And Grognak wants to kill the ranger, and generally 3 life is enough for your 4 attack, and Frenzy is going to go for the damage. I will do exactly the same. Will the gate. Only 2, this is very bad, but hopefully Grognak can make this fighter frenzy. Let's see, miss. We have a restore, an influence, sorry, and miss. Well, that's not great. Obviously, that ranger surviving is a problem, but because it's going to apply pressure to Grognak, and the way Cylinder has to defend from aggression is actually applying pressure to the opponent summoner. So yeah, Grognak wants to be involved, so this is not good. It's probably going to mean 2 extra damage against Grognak early on, which is not something you want to see, but it's not a big deal. So the mage is shining in to play damage to Grognak as expected, and here up with a defensive gate, knowing that Grognak will want to take over this situation. 2 damage on Grognak here. 1 for the fighter, like it survived, and a big miss for the ranger. This is great because for Grognak, of course, I'm sure Vexer is not going to be happy about that. Let me think about this turn. This turn can be a little complicated. Sadly, here we didn't draw a charger, so we have Shang, and we need to summon it this turn. And I think we have several options here. One is to bring Shang on this side to kill the ranger, which allows you next turn to pressure this gate. This is a very valid move. Another is just summoning Shang here to not lose this spot, which I don't know if that's great, but it's a reasonable move. And the other is just to prepare for a shaman with For Glory turn, which I don't like that much. But yeah, I don't know what I will do here. I will have to think quite a bit. I like both Shang here to protect his spot and just try to return the fighter here and just focus on killing these 2 units. And Shang, the other option is Shang here to apply pressure to this side, and with fight again the same thing. All 3 attacks focus on killing all 3. I wouldn't try to go for the ambitious trying to 4-on-4 mage at this early stage, but yeah, the problem of doing that, however, is that now sorry. I saw that he's going to freeze now, but the problem with trying to kill the mage is that you open this line and now Grognak is going to be attacked again. I still will do that, but I think those will be my go-to options, but I know that what he did now is go freeze for the mage, which it's interesting because you're kind of protecting Grognak, and just this mage is going to be quite kind of neutralized. Yeah, I know, the problem is I feel you're missing your chance to kill this. I don't know how I feel with this. Grognak retreats, which is interesting. For Glory? I'm more confused now than before. Okay, that's a big chunk hit. You shot for Glory just to kill this mage and losing the fighter. This is very interesting to me. Well, this is a very good thing of the fighter. Well, that makes For Glory totally worth it. Yeah, interesting. I don't know if I will do that. I would prefer to just spend my resources there to focus on killing this units of freeze. And yeah, I don't mind exposing Grognak, but I guess Jexix here goes for a more preservation line with Grognak, which is fine because Grognak is a very worthwhile value, and against Salander, which has a high assassination potential, it can be bad to have Grognak on low life. I think, however, if I go for the freeze line, I wouldn't for the for glory, I wouldn't freeze. I will go one or two. If I go for the freeze, I don't go for the for glory, right? But if we go for glory, I will go like the Shunk, Shaman here, and then the fighter. I guess he was very worried about Grognak getting more damage, but I personally would be fine with that. Yeah, I mean, just yeah, why not? Anyway, I'm okay with just not playing without Grognak, so to speak, even against Cylinder. But maybe it's my mistake. Maybe it's my mistake. So yeah, let's keep going. Seer comes in. Knight. A lot of damage to Shung, but honestly, this is not a big deal to Shung. I mean, these two units don't hit hard. So, I mean, if I have Shung there and he spent his turn doing this, I'm fine with that. So no, Grognak is playing super weird to me. I wouldn't play like this. I would play Grognak way more aggressive, but yeah, this is very interesting. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, obviously focus on the fighter. I mean, the ranger is irrelevant pretty much. It's just the mage there. Interesting, he's playing, like, in my opinion, kind of defensive or conservative, and he discarded Torgan, which is weird because when you want to play a little more conservative, Torgan is your key champ. So interesting to see that Targan, I call him Torgan, but it's Targan. The Targan went to the drop. I will try to keep it, and actually even discard the Brutal Force. I would prefer. I'm going to only keep Brutal Force. I still have one in the deck, and I want the Brutal Force maybe for the final storms, but not at this stage of the game. So I will just throw a lot of those cards and just go for a Targan, maybe with Shamans to play this more conservative game. It's very interesting to see someone play Tundra orcs so different than I would, which shows how little we as players know about the game yet, still in its infancy. We all played so different. And probably everyone is wrong. Including me, of course, in case that isn't clear. With that said, I mean, Grognak line is paying off. Vexer here is just like giving into the Tundra orc like retreat. I think my fear of taking this line of playing so conservative is suddenly finding a way to just retreat and using his time to build up a boost. But that's not what Vexer is doing. He's just kind of fighting Grognak in the middle of the map. And if I'm Grognak, I'm very happy with this. So yeah, it's actually working quite well for Grognak, in my opinion. Smasher killing stuff, as they like to do. That Shang is hitting very hard, let's say that. Shang did a lot of work. And they're bringing more units. And this is why I tend to discard my first Brutal Force. I sometimes use it for very light work, but I don't know, personally I only used I don't tend to keep my first Brutal Force because it's very hard to find a turn to use them, and you want to keep your hand flowing, especially if Grognak is going to sit so much in the back. Seeker to Smasher. And now it's gone. Ragnar coming in and just applying pressure with a champ, with the final champ. I think this is working, as I said, into Grognak game. I mean, Grognak fighting the middle of the map is super happy with. And finally, the Brutal Force went on the discard pile. Yeah. I mean, he still has... Maybe I will even discard the Fury. I don't know about that. Maybe for the similar reasons. However, you don't have much to do in the deck. Especially now with targeting discard pile. So I guess it's fine. You have 2 smashers, I think. 1 smasher. So yeah, I mean, you should keep it because you have enough, I think, in the deck. So you want some value, so I guess I keep the Fury. So now Seeker, another Seeker. Man, it's going to kill that. That's going to be devastating. Oh my god, that's brutal. Yeah, that's very bad. That's very bad. So what to do here with Grognak is going to be complicated. Because, I don't know. I guess you can go for the 1 Fury. I mean, I think you have to, right? I don't know. You have to? I would do. Yeah, Fury there. Very reasonable. Brutal Force. But why? I don't know what's the purpose of that. I'm confused there. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have no idea what the Brutal Force was. Moving the... In case it miss, to move... I don't see it. I'm sorry. I just... I know, I'm... Yeah. Now, yeah, we are going to get punished by that. That's expected. Now you have to retreat. And that's why I wanted to discard the Fury. Because... I know that I will get punished after the first one, I will get low life, and then the second one is going to be hard to use. But again, you are low on the deck material, which is one of the problems of discarding Targan, in my opinion. But this is fine, I'm not saying discarding Targan, I don't agree. But yeah, it's going to be very hard to use the final Fury. However, you can keep the Fury as your final card. And yeah, I think that's fine. Actually, this went here. Okay, decide to go for the Smasher. Which is now an interesting situation for Grognak. What you do here with Grognak is going to be very interesting. You know you have Fury in the deck. Those Seekers are so hard to deal with because it doesn't seem worth to kill them, but you have to, so I don't know. I think because you don't have, it's about, sadly I can't check this click because it crashes, but I think you want to pressure Cylinder ring. Maybe move forward here and ring 2 gates. It seems crazy, but I think that's what I would do. I try to force Cylinder to have to deal with that because otherwise you're dead. Yeah, I think I will do that. And then use these 2 units to kill the Seeker. Or this is fine. Yeah, well, this is very similar logic. I really like this play. I don't think the For Glory was necessary. I guess it was to destroy the gates. I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense. Now Cylinder is in like this desperation mode. Into darkness, always very annoying. to basically change the position of your gates. Which is one of the reasons it's hard to attack Cylinder. You can change the position of the gates. Now you're going to get hit car. Now you're sad you have that brutal force you used previously, right? Yeah, interesting because Vexer doesn't know that Grognak doesn't have a second brutal force because it was discarded. But I guess he was like YOLO. I mean, I'm hard pressure and I need to do this kind of play. So I think it's fine. I think it's fine. And now I guess he's a little sad doesn't have the For Glory. Only Grognak can do at any time now. Big miss there. Sadly, that smasher is there. Yeah, not much going on there. At this point, the game is pretty much over, so to speak, in terms of strategy. It's just going to, like, 10 games tactically. People are just going to throw dice. There may be some tactical implications, but I'm not the best at commenting that. Yeah, I think that was pretty good, actually, because a good Frenzy can make a disaster there. Frenzy, go! Go, Frenzy! Go! No! No! That was so sad. That would be brutal. I mean, maybe even game right there. But we that's how Frenzy works, right? And Seeker. I think the fact it's going to have so much magic extra going on shows maybe he need to discard a little less cards, just thinking about that. Still, this is a very close game. Trying to threaten for a Fury kill, but Vexer realized that and is not going to let him have it. I think this game could be the difference of this game, other than a few things like the brutal force that I don't know what happened, is yeah, the extra magic lying there. I mean, it's just maybe I have the other problem. I tend to keep too much of the deck, but I think this is a problem also, just having too much magic lying around. Managing magic at the end of the game is a complicated task, and yeah, this is kind of a skill one has to learn over time. Yeah, look at all that magic, not doing anything. It hurts me. That's why I'm the other way. I just have a serious problem of just often keeping too many cards in the deck. Yeah, this is not looking great. I think at this point it's just game over. And yeah, I think this is very anticlimactic ending, but yeah, it was just Cylinder defending, and now Grognak doesn't have much going on. Yeah, the Fury is interesting, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah. Anyway, that was an interesting game. Yeah, I'm really calling it. Yeah, I will play Grognak a little more aggressive, but it was interesting because it worked very well actually how he played. So I don't think playing more aggressive would produce a better result than this. However, I think it's just the two key things I think the Tundra orc could have done better was the brutal force. I don't know what happened there. I think it was a mistake maybe. I mean, it was a mistake by him that maybe he played and then retreat and I don't know. It happens sometimes. I have played sometimes events where I just go undo and then I forgot it, yeah, and I wasted the event. Maybe that happened. And the other thing was not calculating enough magic. Maybe discarding Targan was the problem there. Yeah, he had a lot of extra magic going. It would be enough to finish the game and actually win it. And it was just wait for wasted magic. And that shows the importance of managing magic in the endgame. And yeah, I think that's all for the game. And hopefully you learned something from it.